You can now create a monitor without leaving your terminal. The UptimeRobot CLI is the official command line interface for UptimeRobot. It manages monitors, incidents, status pages, maintenance windows, and alerts contacts from your terminal, your script, or your CI pipeline. If you're already in a terminal all day, the dashboard is a context switch. And if you want monitoring to be part of a deploy pipeline rather than a thing someone remembered to do afterwards, you need something scriptable. Let me install it and show you. Installing it. 2 prerequisites. Node.js version 22.12 or newer. Check with the Node ---- version and an API key which you create in your dashboard under integrations, and I'll show you in a bit how to do that. Then it's one command: npm install ---- global add UptimeRobot CLI. Confirm it landed with UptimeRobot ---- version. Now log in with UptimeRobot auth login. It prompts for your API key with masked input and stores it in your operating system's secure credential store, so the key never ends up in your shell history. Now it's time to go to the integrations page. You'll notice there are 2 different types of API keys, the main API key and the read-only API key. You want the main API key. This will allow you to fully check and test the CLI tool. If you're running this in a CI or a container, you skip the login and pass the key as environment variable instead. UptimeRobot _API _key. Your first commands. Start with the obvious one, UptimeRobot monitors list. Here you can see all the monitors with their IDs. For many actions, like deleting, you're going to need the ID of the monitor. And speaking of deleting a monitor, let's do that. Use UptimeRobot monitors delete ID -- confirm. Since we used -- confirm, this will immediately delete a monitor without asking you. If you want to be safe, do not use the -- confirm flag, and the system will ask you if you indeed want to delete a monitor. Now let's create a new monitor. Use UptimeRobot monitors create HTTP -- name, checkout API -- URL, and then your own URL. For me, it's going to be checkout.example.com. -- interval 60 and -- timeout 30. This is an HTTP monitor for a checkout API, checking every 60 seconds. After that, if you want to check what's going wrong, you can type UptimeRobot incidents list. One last very important thing is that you don't need to remember by heart all these commands, or you don't need to check the docs all the time. Help exists at every level of the command tree. Type UptimeRobot monitors -- help, or go deeper with UptimeRobot monitors create keyword -- help. And it lists the required fields, the accepted values, the defaults, and examples. There is a command group for pretty much everything you do in the dashboard: monitors, incidents, status pages, maintenance windows, alert contacts, tags, and more. The part built for automation. Here is the design decision that makes this more than a convenience. Run a command interactively and you get a readable table. Add --JSON and you get structured output instead. Same command, the table for you, the JSON for whatever you're piping it into. Before you script anything, there is --try -run. It compiles and validates your command without authentication and without touching your account. So if you've forgotten a required field, you find out here rather than halfway through a loop. Genuinely useful HTTP monitors need a name, a URL, an interval, and a timeout, and it's the timeout that people forget. Monitoring stops being something you configure and becomes something you can commit. Who this is for and how it differs from MCP. If you're a developer who lives in a terminal, this removes a context switch. If you're running infrastructure as a code, monitoring can now live in the same script as everything else. If you manage a lot of monitors, bulk operations stop being a clicking exercise. And if you use an AI coding agent, there is one more command worth knowing. UptimeRobot skills install. That pulls in UptimeRobot's AI skills, 24 of them, covering everything from creating monitors to incident response, and installs them into whatever agent you use. You pick which ones you want, your agent stops guessing at flags and actually knows how the tool works. One distinction worth making, since we covered MCP recently. MCP is for conversation. You ask an assistant a question in plain language and it answers from your account. The CLI is for repeatability. Commands you script, commit, and run the same way every time. Different jobs. Most people who want one eventually want both. So, npm install dash global at UptimeRobot/CLI. Log in once and your monitoring is scriptable. A helpful guide on the CLI as well as the MCP video tutorial are linked below. Thanks for watching and happy monitoring!